Every now and then at 3 Wide Life, we like to look back through the classics to remember where we came from. Here's an exciting one with the always action-packed Snowball Derby and superstar of the sport, Kyle Busch.
Hi again, everybody, and welcome to 3 Wide Life. I'm Tony Rizzuti.
And I'm Megan Stanton.
And we're here in lovely Pensacola, Florida.
Tony, we didn't come for the Gulf Coast waters or the white sandy beaches.
No, we came for the 42nd annual Snowball Derby.
What else are you doing the first weekend of December? You're coming to Five Flag Speedway right here in Pensacola, Florida. You're watching the Snowball Derby. The best races in the country are here, and some of the best racing in the world is right here. And I'm from 50 miles away in Mobile, Alabama, and I've won this race before. And it's just where you can come have a family reunion, I guess you could call it, and you see some great guys, some great mechanics, and who knows, the future of racing of tomorrow is right here today. And so that's just like Sunday afternoon, you're going to see a 16-year-old girl on the pole. And like I went and told her this morning, 21 years ago, I did that. And so anybody can win the race on Sunday, but only one person on the pole. I was proud of her.
Won in 2004, qualified third that day, and we had a really good car. This car here is pretty similar to like the one we ran down here. We got a really good car today here in practice. We qualified 18th. The past 3-4 years, I've always had to take. I've been having to take my Champions Original because there's like 100 cars here, you know. So it's a real tough race to make, and we won it in 04 and finished second 4 straight years. So I think we got a good car, and really honestly think we can win this one too.
The Snowball Derby's always been a big race for the super late models. It's the biggest in the country every year. A lot of guys have come down here since the late 60s, you know, and so a lot of winners have come out of here, a lot of big names, a lot of guys that are in the Cup Series, past and present, and so, you know, it's a fun race to come down here too, and, you know, I love the super late model ranks. I love being able to come out and race against all these guys and stuff, and so with having my own equipment, you know, why not? Why not come down here and, you know, spend a week in sunny, cloudy, cold Florida? Well, we'll see how the race plays out today. I feel like our car's pretty decent, you know, we should be all right, should have some fun. If we can keep the nose clean and keep the fenders on it, we'll be on.
Coming from where I grew up in Wisconsin, obviously, this was always a big deal. And, you know, as a kid, you always heard everybody talking about, oh, we're going to go to the Snowball this year. And I know that my dad has come down here and raced. And late model drivers, racers, people throughout the country that race their local Saturday night can come here and race. I mean, this is kind of like a Daytona race to them. So it's just a big event. Obviously, they've got, you know, tons of cars, and it's a big deal. Everybody's season's pretty much winded down, and this is it, you know, until the season gets kicked up next year. So it's just a big event.
It's definitely really strong this weekend. It's probably like, there's been a few other races that I've been involved in where we've had 80 cars show up and been very stout. But it's for the economy and everything else, this is a very strong field. It's going to be a really good race because there's probably 20 to 25 cars can win this race if everything plays out right. So we're just hoping we're one of them. Both Kyle and myself, we own our own cars. Other guys are driving other people's cars, and it's just fun, you know. Like I said, then you have people that are up and coming, like Joanna Long or a lot of other drivers that are in the field, very young drivers, and you know, they're wanting to go out and prove themselves and obviously race smart and try to impress people, because there's going to be a lot of people from the upper, I guess you'd say, racing world here today watching, and if they can go out and put a mark, you know, of winning the Snowball Derby, that's a big thing that they can say and go to car owners or try to move up the ladder.
For the past 3-4 years, I've owned my own super late models, and we've come down here with different drivers to develop for our Chevrolet program. But this year we decided to go with a veteran in Bobby Gale, who's a 2-time winner of this race. We just wanted to come down with, you know, our guns loaded and with our best shot to win. And we felt our best shot to win and beat Kyle Busch and the other guys is with Bobby Gale behind the wheel.
You know, the Snowball Derby is more than just Sunday's big race. It's an entire week's worth of events, and Megan's had a front row seat.
We just finished the last chance qualifier, and I'm here with the winner, Dennis Schoenfeld. Dennis, how excited are you to know that you just secured yourself a spot in the big event?
It's probably, at least I get some sleep tonight. I didn't sleep nothing last night. I've been edgy all day. I was chewing everybody's out or butt out, I guess you say, and it's just great.
Now you've got 50 laps under your belt. Is there anything that you learned that you can use for tomorrow?
Just learn the line. You know, I've been messing around here changing lines because they redid the racetrack a little bit. So it's a little different, but yeah, I picked up quite a bit of how to get in, how to get off. I mean, it's a tire management race, and I think it'll be pretty good.
After an intense last lap, Gary Helton secured the final spot for the Snowball Derby. Gary, how are you feeling?
Well, pretty excited right now. I didn't know, my spotter was telling me he's coming, and I thought I could hold him off, but right there at the last, coming out of turn 4, he nudged me a little, got under me and passed me, but after review, they thought he was down a lap, so it turned out great for us.
Did you learn anything that you can use for the race tomorrow?
Yeah, I better tighten my car up a little bit off the corner. My car was way too free, but we'll have it ready for tomorrow.
Saturday night, Snowflake 100. I'm here with pole setter TJ Reed. TJ, how are you feeling about going into tonight?
Oh, we're pumped. We didn't really expect to set on the pole, but the guys give me a good car, so we get out front there and get in around some clean racetrack. We got Cale behind us and Johanna next to us, so some really good racers. So I think we'll get a good start and we'll see how it goes.
Like you just said, you do have some big names behind you that have done pretty well so far. How do you feel about the competition out here?
Oh, man, it's awesome. I've never raced with Cale before, so it's going to be pretty cool to get to race with him tonight. Johanna ran with her a few times. She's a really clean racer, so they're going to be tough. It's just we're going to have to keep the fenders on it all night, get some clean pit stops, and we'll see where we end up at the end.
Now you have a pretty good history racing out at this track. Are you feeling pretty good about having a three-peat?
Yeah, the car's real good. I feel like it's a better car for the race than it was for qualifying, so I feel pretty confident about it.
Who do you think's going to be some good competition out here?
There's 60 here. throw them in a hat. There's a lot of good cars here. To just pinpoint one or two of them, it'd be crazy, but just a lot of tough competition.
It's race day. You're the pole sitter. Are you ready to roll?
I am. I'm really excited. Hopefully I'll get out front and lead the first lap.
Now, is there anything that you learned in the race last night for the Snowflake that you can use for today?
Well, we got in a little trouble last night, so I think this is a longer race, so I guess just last all 300 laps, and if you're last all 300 laps, you should at least be in the top 10, because there should be a lot of wrecks today.
Now, this is your hometown track. What would it mean to you to win tonight?
Well, it'll be awesome. There's guys that come out here that tried it 10, 15 years, and they still can't even make the race. So just being up here for my second Derby, that would be amazing. With all my family here and all the fans just in front of them winning the Snowball Derby, that would be awesome.
Our second fastest qualifier, Ross, what's it going to take to win this race today?
Tires, really. They go away so fast. The guy who has some left over at the end of the race probably going to win the race.
Now, after practicing qualifying, what have you learned that you can use today?
Well, it's just really all about tires again. We made a couple long runs in practice, and our times were pretty good, I thought. So I think the car should be pretty good today.
Don't go anywhere. More 3 Wide Life when we come back.
Shane Mill here. It's the big day. It's the 42nd running of the Snowball Derby. We're going to go around and talk to some drivers and see what's so important about this race. It's big to all short track racers, and that's what 3 Wide Life's about. I caught up with another local favorite, Gale. Cale, you're from around this area. This is probably a pretty big race for you. This is probably the one you want to win for the year, right?
Yeah, this is, if you're from around the Pensacola, Mobile area, all across the Gulf Coast, this is our Daytona 500. So this race has always been pretty sentimental to me, and just real excited about it. I'm driving for Kirk May out of Athens, Georgia. First time I got to drive for him, and we qualified 8th, and hopefully after 300 plus laps, we'll be there at the end.
What's it going to take to win tonight?
It's going to take patience, being sure you got 4 tires left at the end, and having all the fenders on it, and hopefully luck will prevail a little bit on your side. It takes a little bit of everything to win this race, and there's about 35 of them here that can win when they start the race, and usually comes down to 2 or 3 at the end.
How's your Snowball Derby going so far?
It's going pretty good. We made it in the show, so far it's going real good. We start 19th, which doesn't show the hand that we really got, and hopefully, by lap 300, we're doing this interview over again.
I've watched this race several times, and it's probably better to be right in the middle of the pack, I would think. You can kind of pace yourself as opposed to getting out front. Where would you want to start on the pole, or are you comfortable where you're at?
Everybody wants to lead. You can set your own pace, you can do your own thing, but it's 300 laps. You know, people are going to go from the back to the front, front to the back, and some might go a lap down. You know, some might go 2 or 3. So, and come back and end up winning the race. So, you know, we'll see.
Bobby, you're one of the best short track racers in the country. What brings you back to run the Snowball Derby?
Well, we got together with Bob Dillon with this Chevrolet Beef O'Brady car and worked on it a couple of weeks before we come down here. And I mean, we didn't get in the show on the qualifying times, but the car is good for the race, and I think we're going to have a good car.
What do you have planned for next year?
We're still pretty sure right now we're going to drive for the same people we drove for next year in the 11 Robinson Ford. Right now we're taking winter off after this race. I'm going to start doing some more bass fishing on the Lake Norman, so that's where I'll be during the winter.
Tell us where you start.
Starting 18th, you know, this race is real hard to make it in. You know, there's usually about 70 or 80 cars trying to qualify for this thing, and you go out, it's about 32 degrees usually. It's really cold out. It's you know, it's a really tough race to make, so to be in it right now is really good.
Well, yesterday you were a little nervous about making it in qualifying. Now you are in it. Do you think you have a car that can win the race? I mean, you are a former winner.
I really do. You know, we won this thing in 2004, and you know, we've got a lot of laps here, and our car's been handling real good all day in practice, and I think he's got really, really good forward bite, and it's turning the center good too. So I think those are two key things to win. You know, to have a good car here and be able to win the race.
How long have you been coming to the Snowball Derby?
Well, my dad used to be the track electrician here, so I've been in this racetrack my whole life. I was born in Pensacola, so I mean, this is you know, if you short track race, this is Daytona 500, and that's how we feel about it, and that's the effort we put into it.
What's it going to take to win this race today?
Oh, being around at 40 to go. You know, I mean, it's a big attrition race, mostly due to crashes. Some guys will get off sync on tires, you know, and that's the biggest problem. The track's real aggressive on tires, and you'll get a guy that's maybe missed the setup a little bit, and he'll have to short pit, and you're out there trying to, you know, get to 100 laps on your first set of tires, which is kind of the key to having, you know, to get all the pressure off of you, to get 100 laps on your first set, and then you've got enough tires to do the race.
Well, I thought I was a pretty good race car driver. I come down here and race one time, and you beat me for the pole and beat me with a couple to go to win the race. So it's a good race car driver, and good luck today, Eddie.
Yeah, I remember that race, and that was I had to race hard that night.
Tech Zone, real tech for real racers.
Welcome into the Tech Zone here at the Snowball Derby, and I've caught up with my good friend Nick Harrison. And I know you're saying, Nick Harrison, I know that name. Well, Nick was the car-winning crew chief for Brad Keselowski at the Sprint Cup Series race at Talladega, and he's working on the Phoenix Racing late model. Nick, welcome to the show. I know this race, the Snowball Derby, it's probably the largest late model race in the country, but these late models you guys are running are super late models. They're a little bit different than what maybe the local fan would see at their track. Tell us about the car.
The idea behind the super late model is that these cars are built offset, and 58% of the car's weight is the left side weight, where a lot of the normal late models are perimeter cars where the chassis is not offset, it's more symmetrical off the center line of the car. Well, these are all offset to the left, and you get 58% left side weight, 2,750 pounds total weight of the car, and they got a lot of horsepower, like 650 horsepower. So the name of the game is tire management. Be able to keep the front of the car digging, but when you get back to the gas, you don't have a whole lot of weight, so you really got to work on forward bite and keep the tires in the racetrack, you know, all day and not buzz them up and heat your tires up, and then your car will drive terrible the rest of the day.
Now, you mentioned this car is an offset chassis, but I've also heard it called a straight rail car. Is there some confusion that maybe the fans at home would get confused? It's actually the same type of car.
When you hear racers talk about a straight rail car or an offset car, a straight rail is an offset car. And the reason being is when the front snout here, the frame on the front snout, it goes straight back through the car where it don't hook back out like the left side frame does. And it's just built offset. So a straight rail and an offset car is the same exact car. A perimeter car is where the chassis is built off a center line and both frame rails are symmetrical.
Now, Five Flags Speedway is a pretty big late model track. It's got a lot of banking, very fast. What are some of the things you're working on your car here today for Eddie Mercer that'll help him get to victory lane? What are some of the keys to Five Flags?
This is Eddie's hometown track, and he's real good here. He's won a lot of races here, but the biggest thing we worked on in practice is our bump stop package. We needed to get down in the corner and have as much grip and still keep forward drive up off. So you don't want it cutting too good in the middle of the corner, and then you lose the tail up off and you bust the tires. So we just played with a balance, and I think we found the right balance. And you know, you just got to work with your spring rates versus bump stop. Make sure you don't overload the tire, you got the right load, and keep as much grip in the front end as you can.
All right, Nick, you mentioned bump stops, and we've covered bump stops here on the Tech Zone before, but for maybe a new viewer that's watching, and especially with this late model car, tell us exactly what you do with the bump stops here and what a bump stop is.
Well, this particular car here is a coilover car, and if you see here what a coilover is the spring goes around the outside of the shock body, and down inside, down at the bottom of the shock is a rubber bump stop. And we've worked on a lot of packages this weekend, and we've came up with the best one we thought for speed and tire management. But as this body travels down, this rubber bump stop actually touches the bottom of the shock body, and it ramps up wheel load, and it's actually what controls the max travel of your race car. So you just work on a bunch of different combinations and come up for what's best driver feel and best speed on a stopwatch.
Now, I know most people think about Pensacola, Florida in December. They're thinking, man, I'll come bask in the sun, but notice you have a jacket on. It's quite cold here. Does that throw any curveball in maybe the setup as far as the conditions here?
The track's pretty cold, but once the tires get some heat in them, they'll have plenty of grip. It's actually probably going to make for more of a grip, more tire grip in the race than what it would be a sunny day when the track gets real hot and greasy and the cars get slick and slide around a lot.
300 laps, that's a marathon for a late model race, and I've seen a lot of these teams bringing in professional pit crews. How big will pit stops be in this race today?
Pit stops will be really big. You just need to come in, have a real good clean on pit road, off pit road. A lot of these late model guys are not used to doing pit stops, so you don't want to get in trouble, don't want to knock your fenders off on pit road. But have a good, nice, clean 4-tire stop and get back on the track and do all your action on the track.
Yeah, Nick Harrison, he's one of the best crew chiefs in the game. He's working with Eddie Mercer here on James Finch's late model, super late model race here at the Snowball Derby. Well, Megan, I think we've covered just about everything we can here at Five Flags Speedway.
That's right, Tony. We've caught up with the drivers and we found out why this race is so special. I think there's pretty much just one thing left to do.
Yeah, and it's what all these fans have been waiting all afternoon for. It's time to start the 42nd annual Snowball Derby. You want to do the honors?
Absolutely. Drivers, start your engines.
Busch once came to the Snowball Derby and didn't even qualify, but here in 2009, you go to victory lane. Congratulations.
I appreciate it. Thank you. It's it means a lot. It's a great deal of teamwork to come down here and to win this deal. And
I appreciate all the fans that come out and support this race. You know, there's a lot of butts in the seats, and it means a lot to these racers. And it's fun, man. I love coming out here and racing my late models, and that's what's fun for me. And it's not going out and going on vacation and going here or going there, you know. But I can't tell you what it means, because this race, I had so many butterflies and so many emotions through the last 10 laps. I mean, this was more than a cup race that I've ever felt. I was just, and then the car spun out right in front of me coming to the checker, man. I almost celebrated too soon.
There's been many legends in the history of the Snowball Derby that have had their name on the trophy, but here in 2009, the 42nd annual edition, Kyle Busch's name will be added to that legendary list. Well, the smoke still hangs in the air after another exciting finish to the 42nd annual Snowball Derby. And Megan, this race definitely lived up to its name.
Yeah, Tony, I am absolutely freezing out here, but the racing on this track tonight was red hot. No wonder they call it the Super Bowl of short track racing.
Well, that's going to be a wrap from here in Pensacola. And don't forget, if you want to see more episodes, check our website at 3widelife.com.
For Tony Rizzuti, I'm Megan Stanton. Thanks for watching.
And keep living the 3 Wide Life.